Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It is Natiluv Tarot, and I thank you so much for being here. I ask kindly that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, my information is in the description box below. Another thing, quick disclaimer, this is strictly for entertainment purposes only. Everything here is alleged. Okay. So we're gonna actually do a reading today on Gunna, the rapper, who is associated with Young Thug. I'm just, cleansing myself with my homemade Florida. Ooh, I'll pick that up later. With my homemade Florida water and cleansing the area. Guys, let me know if you would like a tutorial on how to make your own Florida water. Then let me know, because I can always do a video one of these days separately to do this. Now, this Florida water I definitely made from scratch. So I put my own pure intentions into it, and I also had it sit out during the full moon that had just took place. So for me, this is some potent, powerful. I made 2 mason jars of this, but I mean, most people are used to this Florida water, and I'm not even gonna lie, I was always told you should always make your own, but me just being lazy, I always use this one. But then a message came from, I think her name is Spiritualista. She's on Facebook. She might be on Instagram too. She's a bomb reader. She had came with a message one day that stated that, Spirit is saying that we need to start making our own spiritual items, our own spiritual products, which I do make my own spiritual products. I do make shower gels, bath salts, and certain things on my own, but I wasn't making my own Florida water. And I felt like hearing that message again coming directly from her at this point, I felt like that was Spirit trying to talk to me and telling me, hey girl, hey miss thing, get up and do your thing. So I got up and I did my thing. But anywho, just let me know if you guys are interested in knowing how to do that. But anywho, yes, we're doing a reading on Gunna, so let's begin. It's just craziness going on with Young Thug and his situation. He can't catch no break, honey. But you know what? That's karma eating his behind up. Okay. Let's see what the spirits have to say about rapper Gunna. Spirit, what is the energy surrounding the rapper Gunna right now? Okay, so already I'm picking up an energy of he wants to go towards somebody. There's a female in his energy that he's very much interested in if he isn't already dating. But I don't feel like he's dating this female. I feel like this female is in his energy and he's very smitten by her, and he's going to try to go towards her to offer some type of commitment. Yeah, he's going to take his time going towards this female. Whoever this is, he feels like he can't just be like straight and direct immediately. He has to really study this person, pay attention to what their likes are and their dislikes are, and then go towards them. So basically, he doesn't want to fumble the situation. So he wants to just, take his time and be smooth with it and make sure that he's in his prime when he addresses this person with his interests, I should say. Okay. So in his energy, he feels like he hasn't been disciplined for a very long time, and now he's starting to get back on track. Because with the Emperor card here, this could represent a father figure. This could represent it could represent a stubborn person, but this can also talk about having structure and being strict with your structure. And then paired with the Hangman, which represents blockages and delays, he's felt like he wasn't very structured with his life. He also feels like, this gives me also like there could have been a fire energy in his energy that also kept him blocked and held him back. So I feel like right now it's about his freedom, it's about his justice, it's about him moving the way he wants to move and doing what he pleases to do, because he felt like he was bounded for a long time. Let's see. Yeah, it's like he's rushing towards a peace of mind and a new beginning, but for some reason he feels like chaos just continues to follow him, no matter how well he's trying to do for himself. So he's just more so in like the 10-10 energy, closing out cycles and going to the 11-11 energy, opening up opportunities like the gateway portal for himself. He's just not beat for the nonsense. He's doing a total transformation of mind, body, and spirit. He's tired of like negative shit. The only thing is, Spirit is saying there's something that he's not seeing clear, and he needs to sit back and take solitude to really understand. And it has something to do with the spiritual aspect for himself. It's not something physical. It's more spiritual that Spirit really wants him to sit with and to work on. With the Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck, I feel like it's forgiveness. And you know what? This could be pertaining to Young Thug. It could be Spirit basically saying that, hey, we acknowledge how you feel about him and the situation that took place amongst you guys. However, you do need to open up your heart chakra to healing. And part of healing is forgiving people. So I'm not saying for him to be friends again with Young Thug or to be, you know, buddy, chummy. But I think he needs to kind of release the resentment and anger that he has in his heart towards Young Thug. Now, again, guys, I'm not saying that Young Thug didn't do anything to him. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we have chakras aligned in our bodies, and each chakra is affected by certain decisions and things that we do in our life. And one of the things that you block is your heart chakra when you hold malice, envy, jealousy, anger, frustration, stress, and you don't open your heart up to love and forgiveness. So I feel like he needs to, that is the clarity that he's not seeing. Spirit is saying that you've done so much transformation, but part of your, you know, healing yourself is also learning to forgive. You don't have to forget, because you should always remember so that you don't end up in those same cycles. But you need to forgive, because when you don't forgive, it allows the person to have power over your mind, body, and spirit, right? And that's not what Gunna wants. So Spirit wants him to just acknowledge that, okay, Young Thug wasn't the best. However, it is what it is. He accepts the situation for what it is. He's learned his lessons through the situation with YSL and Young Thug. And it's time to move forward and just pretty much just forgive and just keep looking forward and don't look back. That's what Spirit is trying to tell him. Look at all these cards coming out. Let's see what these things are saying. Spirit is saying he has regretted a lot in his past, but it's time to move forward from that, because there's some type of wish fulfillment that is coming towards him. And I feel like this wish fulfillment is him building on his wealth and him walking towards potentially starting a family life, abundance planning for himself, because he has a lot to look forward to. But Spirit is saying that all the emotions that he has at the bottom that needs to come up to the surface, he has to work on that, because he has a lot of emotional ties when it comes to Young Thug. He's angry. Guys, listen to me. Gunna is angry deep down inside at Young Thug. And what Spirit is saying to me is he's angry because he felt like loyalty wasn't there. He felt like, you know, Young Thug was ready to risk everybody and not care about people's livelihood, not care about what they had going on. I'm also picking up something of, he feels like, you know, he's worked so hard for his career, and Young Thug was ready for him to just end that all, you know? And he thinks that that is a very unfair situation, because he felt like he was loyal from the beginning, and that Young Thug should have had grace and should have been, you know, dealing with, you know, people associated with YSL better. But instead, he feels like Young Thug got beside himself, got too confident, and felt like he was on top of the world, and felt like everybody else was beneath him, and he doesn't appreciate that. It's like with the two communication cards here, you know, the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. He just feels like, you know, he's seeing things very clear for what it is, and he's no longer, you know, falling for the false narrative. Like, he's being his own person, and he's marching to the beat of his own drums, and he's not allowing someone else's nonsense to corrupt his mind, body, and spirit. So he's doing what he has to do best. This also, to me, is representing, you know, two people who, in a sense, don't see eye to eye. And I say this to say, like, if the cards would have came out like this, I would say, you know, complimenting each other. But it's funny because it comes this way. So it almost gives me, like, this is Young Thug, like, in his negative form, looking towards that direction and standing on his truth. But then this is Gunna looking forward and standing in his truth. And Gunna is saying, you know what, I can look forward and say what I have to say with my chest high, but you on the other hand have to look sideways and look away from me, because you know what the deal is and you don't want to accept it for what it is. So that's how he's feeling, guys. Anything else, Spirit? Yeah, Gunna he's definitely being tapped into his higher source, and he's just very focused on, look, creativity, building, doing what he needs to do for himself, being about his actions for himself. He's making, going forward, Gunna's gonna make it about him, rightfully so. He's looking at it as, I'm no longer walking in someone else's shadow and allowing their, you know, their fame or their negativities or their highs and their lows to, you know, overshadow me anymore and take over what I have to offer. I'm marching to the beat of my own drum. I'm doing my own thing, and rightfully so. And people are going to know me for me, and people are going to see that the real me is authentic. The real me is actually a real fun-loving guy who wasn't really down for the nonsense, but, you know, due to the circumstances, he did what he had to do to show his loyalty, but felt like that loyalty wasn't given back in return. He just, you know, Gunna is hurt, because Gunna just feels like when the situation was going on with Young Thug, he just felt like, you know, Thug would have, you know, figured out a way to make sure that everybody was okay and that everybody wasn't getting caught up in the nonsense. Instead, he felt like Young Thug was on some every man for themselves. However, y'all better make sure I'm straight. And Gunna is not feeling that. He felt like that was selfish. He felt like that was effed up, and he felt like that's not real. That's not brotherhood. That's not the bro, because, you know, brotherhood, we love each other, we try to protect each other, and we try to figure out ways to help each other. And he felt like he was left to dry and figure things out on his own, so he had to do what he had to do. All right. Well, Spirit, what is going to be the energy going forward for Gunna? What is going to be the energy going forward for Gunna? Okay. So going forward, Gunna is going to continue to transform. However, he's going to be, I guess, in his head a lot. He went through something in his mind traumatic, like, you know, being arrested, going to jail, having to deal with the law, having his business put out in the public media. Like, to him, that's traumatic. So I don't want to say like PTSD, but he thinks about it constantly from time to time, and it bothers him. It bothers him because that's not the stigma that he wants attached to him. So he's definitely going to be dealing with that. Yeah, he's definitely going to be dealing with that. Spirit is saying he needs therapy. He needs to talk to somebody, because this really weighs on him and it bothers him, because he feels like, I worked so hard just to be overshadowed by, like, you know, the law, nonsense, crime. My name is forever tainted. No matter how good of an artist I am, and no matter how much people will love my music and support me and love me for me, I'm always going to have that stigma of YSL and being attached to Young Thug and the nonsense that takes place. And he feels like every time Young Thug takes an L going forward, it some way, shape, or form is going to come back to the people that were associated with him, and he absolutely hates it. You see, a lot of swords. He's mentally conflicted, guys. This situation that he went through with YSL and Young Thug, it put a strain on his mind. He doesn't like it. He doesn't feel at ease or at rest with it. So he's having a hard time coming to terms with everything he had to deal with. But Spirit is saying he's going to get over it eventually, but it's going to take time. It's a work in progress. And he's still working on himself too. Like, he's still healing and dealing with things, but he's getting better and better by the days. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a slow process. Yeah, he's being strong as he can be. And he does have people behind the scenes that he trusts that are supporting him and pushing him forward to continue on doing what he needs to do. Yeah, Spirit is saying he's going to be going towards wish fulfillment and happiness pretty soon. It's just right now he's working out the kinks with his mental and how he feels about situations that have occurred around him or with him. Any new music or anything, Spirit? Yes. He will be coming out with some new music, and he will continue doing music and creating some projects. I do pick up some features taking place with him. And that's like creative abundant energy. So he's working real hard. Yep, the moon card just came out in reverse. So this is confirmation. When the moon card is in reverse, this talks about, you know, you knowing who your hidden enemies are first and foremost, and all that emotions that was bottled up down deep down in this waters is now coming up, is going to come up to the surface. So what was once hidden is no longer hidden. It's illuminated and it can be seen. So that's where he's at. He learned a lot through the situations that he went through. He saw who he could trust, and he saw the false mask that people wore, and he's no longer going for that. He realized that people around him were jealous. They were jealous of his success. They were jealous of his hard work, his creativity. They were jealous of his freedom, and they were jealous at the fact that he chose himself. So now he's in a contemplation stage of just working diligently, becoming a craftsman of what he's doing and collecting his coins and making money. Yeah, guys. Right now he's at a crossroads where he's, you know, still building on his discernment, working on his spirituality, and working on his inner healing. And Spirit is saying he's going to be successful with that. He really is, but it's going to take time, and it's going to be a slow process, but he will make it through because he's choosing himself. He's choosing himself. Let me see the finance cards when it comes to him. Where is the rest of my cards? All right. Spirit, can we get some energy on rapper Gunna's finances? Any financial messages for the rapper Gunna? Rapper Gunna. Okay. So he's going through a slight rough patch. It's not that he's not making money, but he's not making as much money. He's trying to figure some things out. But I don't feel like that's going to last very long, though. I don't know why I pick up, guys, and again, this is entertainment purposes only, I'm picking up the energy of lawsuit. I don't know if he might get sued, or if Young Thug might try to sue him, or somebody on Young Thug's camp. I'm picking up a lawsuit. Extra money. You see this? Mature investment celebration. This is what I'm saying. So his money is a little funny right now. However, he's thinking of creative ways to make money, and he's going to be successful with it. He is. Yeah, he's strategizing what he's trying to do so that he can make some big money moves for himself. Guys, he's reinventing himself completely. Yeah, ambition and taking. Guys, his money, turtle money coming in. So, okay. So the energy that he has right now is his money is not like the best right now, but he's not broke. Right now, he's in a planning, contemplation stage of working on things, doing things, you know, trying to establish certain relationships and just get his legal stuff in order. And then he's just taking action, but he's moving slow, guys. He's taking his time. He's trying to do his due diligence. He's trying to do his research. He's trying to make sure that he's making the right deals, that he's linking up with the right people. And he's also trying to make sure that he's safe in between doing all this stuff, right? So right now he's just in I'm gonna say like in a hermit mode when it comes to his finances, just taking it easy and just trying to figure things out and not oversharing with people because he doesn't want his plans to go left. Okay. Let's finish out with the health cards, and then I will do some channel messages for him. Spirit, are there any health and wellness? Yep. Okay. He is being urged to go to a doctor, but a different doctor. So maybe he has a doctor that he works with, but Spirit is saying that he needs to go to a different doctor and get a second opinion. So guys, just keep in mind that sometimes we go to the same doctor over and over again, and they're so used to us that sometimes they overlook things. And I think Spirit is saying that he just really needs to pay attention to his mind and body. Like something could potentially happen. Yeah, you see healthier eating habits. So I wouldn't be surprised, like he might be falling under the category like average celebrities, where it could be something like, you know, something as simple as potential diabetes or heart disease or things of that nature because of the unhealthy eating habits. Yeah, he needs to just pay attention to his internal body. Like scans doesn't necessarily always mean you have to go get an x-ray or a scan. This could also just mean like paying attention and being well aware of your body. I feel like, because the last time I seen a picture of Gunna, I feel like he is working on himself and he's trying to, you know, he lost weight, his skin looks clear, his teeth was looking nice, he was well dressed. So I don't think it's a matter of he's not taking care of himself. I just think that now that he's kind of like dropped weight and he's looking better, he's starting to kind of splurge on certain foods again, and Spirit is just telling him to really be careful. Like he needs to still cut back again. And see, hydrate, drink a lot of water. I'm telling you guys, water is essential. Ooh. Now guys, Gunna, this is what I'm saying. I feel like he's meeting a young lady if he isn't already dating this young lady. And you see that pregnancy card came out. I don't know. Guys, I'm predicting it here that Stunner may get a female pregnant and a baby is going to manifest. Because whoever this female is, I feel like he's very smitten by this woman. But I don't know. Like, I don't know. He could be talking to somebody right now, but for some reason, I'm not picking up the energy that he's necessarily in a relationship with this person just yet. I feel like it's like a contemplation stage, or they're talking to each other, but they haven't made something official. You know, that type of situation where you're dealing with somebody and you're messing with them, but y'all haven't like legit looked at each other and say, you know what, we are together. But I feel like he has something going on, but he hasn't made it public just yet. So that's what I'm seeing for Gunna. Now the channel messages that I'm getting for him, Spirit is saying, one, he needs to like be very like secretive when it comes to his travels and his locations. Like you got people that are really trying to be in his business, and Spirit is saying he needs to learn to just move a little bit more closed-lipped and strategic is what I'm picking up. I don't pick up something bodily harm or something crazy happening to him. I just feel like you don't want to be at the wrong place at the wrong time or with the wrong people. That's one. Two, Spirit is also saying that he needs to just stay on top of his legal team and his legal stuff, because I feel like there's something popping back up for him that he's going to have to go to court about. Not saying he's going to do jail time or anything like that, and it's not like he committed a new crime or anything like that. I just feel like, I don't know why I feel like he's being sued. Like, I wonder, is Young Thug trying to sue him, or is he, or somebody from Young Thug's camp may try to throw a lawsuit out, and he needs to stay on top of his legal team and make sure that they're prepared for this action to come, is what I'm picking up. Spirit is also saying that he needs to get out into nature more, and if he's traveling, he needs to start traveling to places that have like scenery, like greenery, scenery, water. It'll be refreshing for him. It'll keep him uplifted. It'll keep him upbeat. It'll help him to build strength. It'll help him to tap in even more to his spirituality. And he does have a spirit guide that is very strongly by his side, that's, you know, loving on him and taking care of him and making sure that he's doing okay. So he needs to just make sure he sets aside a little bit of time each day to kind of just talk to his higher source and give thanks, and to also talk to his ancestors and give thanks, because they're working overtime on his behalf. All right, so guys, thank you so much for tuning into my channel. It's Natiluv Tarot. Please like, share, and subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Information description box if you'd like to book a reading with me. Bye.